Hello and welcome to from the mic stand here on Artist Echoes. We are live from a MASH. Now we've just seen a brilliant set from Aerynn and we'll be chatting a little bit about her EP and replaying it all. First, I just quickly wanted to mention a podcast that I've done with Charlie Armrod. It's called The Imposterables. It is out now on all the podcast services. So if you want to go on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, Google Podcasts, a bunch of other ones, you can find our podcast, and it just chats about the day-to-day life of creative people. And we've actually got a question from Aerynn on one coming up in a couple of weeks' time, and it's all about pottery class. So yeah, you can find out about that later, and whether planning on perfectionism is a good idea, or whether just keep on trying again to see if something works. So yeah, that was a beautiful set. And so why did you decide to do your EP tonight?
I guess I was trying to think of something like worthwhile to sort of get out there, because I'm in the thick of producing and arranging songs for an album that hopefully will be out the first half of next year sometime. And I realized, actually it's been 7 years since the last time I put out like an actual set of songs in this EP. I've put out a couple single releases since then, but an actual body of work.
Sure.
And I also juxtaposed to that it's been 7 years since I released that EP. It's also been 7 years since I got married, and so for the first time since then, I tried on my wedding dress, and you know, no surprise, I'm not the same person I was 7 years ago, and it didn't fit quite right. And I started thinking about how that works with writing songs. Yeah. And you know, as a writer yourself, you might relate to that. Just that you write something and then go back to it later, and it's like putting on an article of clothing that just kind of doesn't fit quite right anymore. It doesn't, like, you're not who you were, you know?
I suppose it doesn't quite have the same like emotional impact anymore. You're a bit distanced from it, maybe. Or
possibly. It's still impactful, but to take myself to that place where I was when I wrote that song, to be able to give an authentic performance can be really awkward. Yeah, you know.
Sure. Plus, with perspective, I suppose it can change its meaning and things.
Yeah, sometimes when I write a song, and maybe the same as with poetry, like you write it and it just comes through you. Yeah. And you don't really know what it's about till later. So yeah, I guess that's why I thought it would be fun to just play them all as a set again.
So for people who don't know you, I'm sure some of the people will from the live stream, just want to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your music?
Sure, yeah. My name's Aerynn. Like I said before, I live in Macclesfield. I haven't been playing live as much, actually, in the past few years. I haven't gotten back to it too much since COVID. But I write a lot of songs. Can't stop writing songs. Getting them recorded and produced is another matter, but we're getting there most of the way through another album. So yeah.
So do you think the way that you write songs has changed? Is that completely the same?
I'm sure it's changed. You know, different influences, different things going on in my life, and what I realized playing through some of these tonight, and when I decided to do this a few days ago with this set of songs, is that you know, I think as a writer, I wasn't trying as hard to write well back then. And in some sense, there's an authenticity or a rawness in this set of songs that, you know, in some ways I realized that I miss that, you know. I'm not that person, but at the same time, like, I miss her a little bit. Like, that willingness to just, you know, not give a darn about what comes out on the other end of a song.
And when you replay songs, do you find you still play them the same way, or have you changed the structuring a bit? Or
some of them. I tried something a little different with the first song tonight on the guitar, which was kind of fun. I probably sing them a little bit different. Maybe the listeners will tell me, go listen to the songs online. They're still available. online. I'm completely out of CDs of that EP,
Right.
but they're still downloadable or streamable and all of that. But
And was there like an idea running through that EP when you wrote it, or was it just, how did that all come together?
it was sort of just what I thought were the best kind of 5 songs that I was comfortable playing at the time.
Right.
And songs that I thought my dad's upright bass would sound good on,
Right.
because we were recording them live together.
Mm.
But yeah, they weren't all written as a batch.
Right. Yeah.
I was trying to remember which was the oldest. I think the third one I played, Returning, is probably the oldest song of that batch, actually. I wrote that song about 20 years ago, actually, and but it had sticking power. Like, people seemed to relate to it, and whereas I would say the most recent one from that EP was probably 10 years old.
Right.
Let's see which one that would have been. Probably the second one.
And was that like a particularly important EP? Was that one of your first EPs you released, or?
That's the only EP.
Oh, is it? Right.
Yeah. I've released that EP. I've released a couple single songs, 4 Places and Fall Away.
Yeah.
And then I did a Christmas album.
Right.
That's it. So, but yeah, that's the only releases out there.
And now it's finally time to do a full album. That must be quite an exciting project to work on.
Yeah. It's been a bit piecemeal over the last couple of years. Getting a song produced here and there, and similarly to Summer Leaves, they're not really a set of songs that I've written as a batch for the album. They're just songs that seem to resonate at the time, and so we recorded them, and Mark's producing them, and so most of them are recorded, and the bones are done. We just have to sort of fill them out.
And you said there was an upright bass on the Summer Leaves EP. Is there more instruments on this new album?
Yeah.
Or is it mainly you? Or?
I mean, most of it is centered around like my vocal and either my acoustic guitar or piano.
Sure.
There's quite a few piano pieces, which has been really fun. And but we've added other instruments, cello, pedal steel.
Right.
I just got fiddle back from a friend in America that's been quite successful as a fiddle player there, so it was exciting to get that back. The wonders of technology.
And is there a plan like for a release date or a name or anything yet, or are you still working on all that?
I haven't gotten that far. I'm trying to just get all the songs completely done, and then once they're sent off to be mastered as a batch, then I'll start kind of sorting all that stuff out.
And I guess eventually there'll be like a launch party and things
I
like
hope
that.
so. Yeah, I need to plan the release properly this time. I think that's another thing that going back to this EP has sort of reminded me, as I didn't know what the heck I was doing in terms of trying to release something. So going through that will be, hopefully a step up from last time.
Yeah, sure.
In terms of organization.
If people do want to see you live, or are there gigs coming up, or the festivals at all? Or?
Oh gosh, I don't think I have any gigs planned right now, actually. No, I haven't. I've just been trying to get the album sorted out.
Sure.
So that's what I've
takes
been
up a lot of your
focused
time, I
on.
imagine.
Yeah, in terms of any time I'm not teaching. So that's that.
And so if people do want to find out more about you and listen to all these songs, you're in all the usual places, I guess?
Yeah, all the usual places. I have a website, aerynn.com, AERYNN.com. So there's links there that go to all of the social media or, but yeah, music's in usual places, Spotify and all of that business. So.
Well, brilliant.
Like
Thanks for coming on the show and chatting all about the album and EP, and next time we'll hear some tracks from the album, I guess.
Yeah, I hope so. I was highly tempted to bust some out tonight, but I thought, no, I'm gonna be strong. I'm gonna wait. But I'm looking forward to hearing. I'm looking forward to listening to your podcast that's out now too. So it's exciting.